Hi, my name is Christel Cole, and I have 3 children. My oldest, her name is Imani Mitchell, and she went to North Carolina A&T. She's now 29, and she graduated in 2015. I also have a set of twins, Aaron and Autumn, who are both 19. My son Aaron goes to Hampton University, and my daughter Autumn goes to Morgan State University, and they've just completed their freshman year. A typical day in the house with all of the kids before anyone left off to school was very busy. That started with me getting up early, making sure everyone was up and out. Buses was challenging for getting the twins off to school, so I'm just making sure they made the bus, and also making sure that I make my way into New York because that's where I work. And of course, extracurricular activities has me carting each child depending on what the activity is, whether it's dance class or whether it's rehearsal, because they're in the usher board at church, just different things. When Imani went off to school for the first time, being that we have twins left, she's 10 years older than them, it was a little challenging getting her off to school because she did help me in the house with them. But when she left, I definitely was sad because that's my baby, of course, and she's going off into a different part of her life that came really quickly. So that was challenging, but like I said, I had 2 others at home. We stayed and remained busy, so it was always something I could get through, as opposed to when the twins left. That was a totally different experience. When the twins left off for school, it's actually total opposite. Imani was back at home, and so she was able to help me get them off to school. They left 2 weeks apart, so we literally drove to take Autumn off to school first. And so we were able to do that together and pack her up and get her room decorated, etc. And when it was time to leave her, I was a mess, but having Imani got me through it. And then had to do it all over again in 2 weeks to take my son off to Hampton University. And so I didn't really feel, I of course cried with both of them. I tried to do it separate so that they didn't see me crying, but I was a mess at the hotel. And then of course, when we came back home and it was just Imani and I in the house, I was a mess. I was a mess, mainly because I'm just so used to doing or having some sort of interaction. Depending on the room, there's always a child in it. This time it was just me. My oldest, she's off, whether it was with work or with her boyfriend, but it's just me left at home. And so getting ready to go to the supermarket, that was a challenge. I didn't realize what I was doing. I'm buying groceries and I'm in Costco. Why? When it's just me and Imani, as opposed to having to get all of this food and prepare all of this food. So that was a challenge that I had to learn. But it actually got much easier, and easier on my pocket, of course. I didn't think about what it meant for me when the kids left off to school. And so when it was time for me to just be in my space and it's just me alone, I had a panic attack just thinking about it. I'm so used to listening to my children's music. I'm so used to listening or watching the movies that my kids wanted to watch. I never really thought about what it would be for Christel. So I decided I'm going to take a Spanish class. And so I'm in Spanish class now. I signed up again. So that was one way of keeping myself busy. I didn't want to have idle time. I knew idle time, I would be sad or I would be worrying. And so I wanted to do something that would make myself better. I'm also a leader in my ministry at my church, and that keeps me pretty busy. And then I'm also caring for my mom. And even during dating, I didn't allow anyone to come in the house or anything because I have kids in the home. My kids are not in the home now. And so what does that look like in terms of starting to date? I haven't figured out the dynamics of that. I'm looking forward to doing it. And so I think my kids are too. I'm still very anxious because it's something that I'm doing by myself. I find myself planning our next family trip because I know that that's something that I can do. Doing something for me alone is a little bit of a challenge, but I'm looking forward to doing them.